Greetings everyone, it is the response video to the Q&A 1000 subscriber special. I will be answering all of the questions that have been put in as of right now. Anything that's put after this I will not be answering, obviously, because the answer vid will already be up. I got quite a few questions, most of them brain scratch related, so the first time a brain scratch, history of brain scratch question comes up, I'll just answer the full story there, and then any questions relating to that will obviously have already been answered. So I'm going to start from the bottom, aka the earliest comments, and work my way up. From Maiden Rules 69, would Brain Scrath ever do a Zelda game? Well, Brain Scratch might do a Zelda game in the future, but I don't know if Brain Scrath ever would. He says, A Link to the Past is my all-time favorite game, and I would enjoy watching guys do any Zelda game. To be perfectly honest, the only Zelda game I would know well enough to record is Ocarina of Time, but I'm not sure about Johnny or Lewis. So, probably in the future, but we don't have plans to do one anytime soon, so sorry, you're gonna have to keep waiting. From ZX Reploid Hunter, how did Brain Scratch start? And lo and behold, it's the second question. Here is the story of the history of Brain Scratch. I had recently gotten a Dazzle to record game footage. If you look back at my earliest videos, you will notice I'm basically doing the Lewis Prower webcam to a TV setup, which I wasn't really happy with, especially in terms of how it would glare, how it wouldn't look good, etc, etc. So I went and got a Dazzle to do video game commentaries on my own. Unfortunately, I am not that interesting a person, so I needed some help. At the time, I frequented FTA's site, Find the Computer Room, and its forum, and that's where I met Lewis. I asked him to join me in a game commentary group. I'm not sure why I asked him. I think I set out a call for anyone who was willing to join, and Lewis was like the only one that answered. I can't quite remember exactly what happened. Since it was just the two of us, Lewis said we should probably find a third person. And I was like, yeah, that's okay, that's pretty good in case one of us doesn't have anything to talk about in a particular game. So he introduced me to Johnny. We talked about it and said, okay, the three of us are going to do a commentary group. I was the one who named it Brain Scratch after anyone who guessed the Cowboy Bebop episode is correct, and named it after that. I can't quite remember my reasoning as to that. I just think I just liked the name. But that was basically how Brain Scratch started. Kind of simple and kind of straightforward, but we all don't have tortured backstories that help us become the great people that we are now. ZX's second question is, and may I have a taco? Go to Taco Bell and get a taco then. From Alos Geles 11. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. What is your favorite N64, PS2, and SNES game? My favorite N64 game is probably Super Mario 64 or Smash Brothers, depending on if I'm in a single-player mood or a multiplayer mood. My favorite PS2 game, that's a lot harder to say because there are a lot of PS2 games I really love. I love the Star Wars Battlefront series. I love the Shadow of the Colossus and Ico games. I love the Jak and Daxter series, so I don't really have a favorite on the PS2, and favorite SNES game is Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World, which I've had since I was 3 years old. And finally, Mario vs. Luigi vs. Yoshi, which one would win? Mario, I guess? I don't know. I guess just play Smash Brothers on all level 9s and see who wins. From Supersonic 1497. What really got you into gaming? To be honest, it's Super Mario 64. I had a Super Nintendo when I was really young, about 3 and 4, and I played Donkey Kong Country and Mario Brothers to death, but I didn't really become a gamer, as in I wanted to make gaming my main hobby until I played Mario 64. Fear SRK7. How did you meet Lewis and Johnny? Already went over that. From NewsN41. Between all of you, who do you think holds the record for the more funnier member? Or I guess most funnier member, in your opinion? I think Johnny's more consistently funny, and I think Lewis is has the highest level of comedy when he's in the correct mood. I don't think I'm funny at all, so. From Itachi Z2. Out of all the gaming systems you've had in the past or played in your lifetime, which one is your favorite or stands out the most to you? Well, the Super Nintendo always had a special place to me because it was the first video game I ever owned, but N64 is probably the game system I have played the most of in my entire life. From Nothicist Man, hey Nearman, Why do you have a crazy haircut that Elliot agrees about? I don't have a crazy haircut. I just let it go whichever way it wants, and it comes out as a weird froze spiky thing. From Chaos Paradox, what is your favorite game of all time? My favorite game of all time? That really depends on my mood, to be perfectly honest, but I could go with my Mario All-Stars Collection or Donkey Kong Country or Mario 64. But again, that's all. It really just depends on my mood as to what's my favorite game. The second question is, what game do you think is really overrated? Halo, the entire series, as well as the Tomb Raider series, but particularly Halo because it really doesn't do anything all that unique. The Blade of a Demon asks, when will you guys finish 06 and start Unleashed? We're hoping to finish 06 reasonably soon. As for Unleashed, we're not sure. Because of Lewis's computer program, our recording schedules as far as future stuff is kind of in a bind right now, so we're not sure as Unleashed, but we're hoping to get 06 done as soon as possible, so. From Soko World Gaming. Number 1. What do you not like about Banjo-Kazooie other than being a Mario 64 clone? Banjo-Kazooie is because I personally don't think it does anything all that spectacular. It doesn't do the level design or platforming stuff as good as Mario 64 in my opinion, but unlike Mario 64, it tries to create a world with characters. However, it's rare Nintendo deal in that it's very cartoonish and very straightforward, unlike other Mario 64 clone, Jak and Daxter, which I think has a more vibrant world to it and slightly better character designs. So I think Banjo-Kazooie is somewhere in the middle between those two, and I don't think it pulls off either quite as well as the extremes on both sides. And his question is, who does 3D better, Mario or Sonic? Well, the answer is Mario. That's not even an opinion question. That's a blatant fact at this point. From Dragon Rider 951, which is your favorite classic Mega Man game and your favorite Mega Man X game? Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X1. And he has some more questions. Okay, let's see. Okay, his name is, parenthesis, I'm not going to state your name, parenthesis, I'm the guy who's like to get into fights and lost to Super Mario Bros. 2, and I'm going to state, I'm like, what? Do you think I'm the original Scott Pilgrim? I don't know. Number 2, Canada versus America. America, fuck yeah. Number 3, what if you were a Pokemon trainer? I would be a Pokemon trainer. I don't know how to answer that. What's the question asking? And number 4, what if you make a Mario Brothers manga or / anime, as he puts in response to his own question, and got a huge fan base? I don't know. I think it's impossible to do such a thing, considering you can't make a story out of it because there is no story. From Krakenman. Number 1, what is the worst game you have ever played? Let's see, I'm trying to remember. I had this Super Nintendo game like Pac-Man Adventures 2 or something. It's like a weird point-and-click game, except you can't point-and-click, you have to shoot stuff with a slingshot, and it controls like shit. And I've never gotten past the second level. It's a complete piece of shit. Either that or Sonic 06. And number 2, are you looking forward to the 3DS? Yes, I am looking forward to the 3DS, although I wish it would put demos in stores or something. And he continues with, oh, and Assassin's Creed 2 or Just Cause 2? Assassin's Creed 2. Just Cause. From Klex Yoshi. Well, your next game review. I think you're asking, when is your next game review? Well, obviously, I just got my Pac-Man Championship Edition DX review, but as far as future stuff, nothing right now. And he has this long question about pizza, which I'm not sure what he's asking, so I'm going to skip it. From Sonic Blast 2404. Well, Ryan, it seems you did get comments. Don't underestimate the power of Psycho. Dan the Man Hibiki, lol. Hey, if you had the choice, would you kill Peach or Zelda? Obvious question, lol. Probably Peach, considering she's a dead weight. At least Zelda does stuff. From GameBuster44. Have you played Chrono Trigger? Yes, I have played Chrono Trigger. From Leaf Ninja Knight. Number 1. What's your favorite Metroid game? Metroid Prime. Number 2. Why is Mario 64 better than Galaxy? because Mario 64 is more cohesive and knows what it wants to do. Galaxy has a problem with being half Mario 64, half the planet gimmick, and it can't decide what it wants to do. Number 3, if you could be a character from any game world, you would be and why? That's a very tough question. I don't know. That's a very broad question. I don't know. Batman, I guess? From Anime Master 01. Number 1, if you could talk to Sonic, and what would you talk to him about? Why do all your 3D games suck? Except for Adventure 2 and Colors. Number 2, if you were to be any robot master from Mega Man, who would it be? Probably Electman, because he kicks everyone's ass. Number 3, if you were Mario's sidekick, what power would you have? Well, jumping, obviously. From the Blazing Dragoon, number 1, what is your favorite Maverick? Mega Man X. I don't know. I guess Neon Tiger from Mega Man X3, if only because I can play that killer song, Neon Tiger, while I'm playing it. And the fact that it makes Neon Tiger look like a weird, introspective person for no reason. And his second question is, what do you think about Pokemon Black and White? It's Pokemon. What more is there to speak about? From R10 Zone, what made you start doing videos? I was bored. The Astute Con Man. Number 1, what are some of your favorite games of all time? Mario 64, Donkey Kong Country, Smash Bros. Melee, the Jak and Daxter series. I have a lot of favorites. Number 2, do you like Code Geass? Not really. I hate Clamps' character design, and to be honest, Lelouch is a rather obvious light Yagami XP. Stories meh, and mech designs could use a lot of work. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's one of those really overrated animes lately. Number 3, did you see the 2009 Sherlock Holmes film, and what did you think? Yes, I did see it, and I didn't care for it. Hollywood, you need to stop stealing other people's ideas and ruining them. From B. Micah Price. When did you learn about debug mode in Sonic 3? Back when the internet was young and IGN was known as Game Sages, they had cheat codes for old games, and I found out about the debug mode there. From Metal Hellspawn, who is no longer doing the Sonic reference counts. Do you read many comic books? If so, which ones do you read? I don't really read them, it's more like I just keep track of what's going on. I tend to follow the DC universe a lot more than I do the Marvel universe, mostly because I find the Marvel characters a lot more whiny than the DC ones. So I mostly follow Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern more than any particular group. Number 2, what do you think of retro revival boom that started in the last few years? Well, I like it, yeah, because I'm from the time the retro games were new, so I certainly like it. Number 3, will Brain Scratch always stick to YouTube, or do you have a plan to make a site for it? It's gonna stick for YouTube for the time being. I'm not gonna say never, considering, you know, we could go for another 2 years and be like, hey, let's make a site for it or something. And number 4, since you own the super awesome collection of Batman the Animated Series, do you plan to buy the same collection for Batman Beyond? Not really. I'm not as big as a Beyond fan as I am the Animated Series, mostly because I just don't feel like getting the entire collection. I don't really have as many fond memories of Beyond as I do the Animated Series. Number 5, what game has made you the angriest in the last year or so? I'm trying to remember, like the last year or so, the angriest. Anything that's needlessly challenging. I can't remember any particular game, but if it's needlessly challenging. Some of the Donkey Kong Country Returns secret temple levels got me frustrated on hell, not because I didn't know what to do, it was because the control was just slippery enough from the old games to